Scientists now believe they may have found the key to why some people run from danger and some run to it. Inside the brain are billions of special molecules called neurotransmitters. One particular neurotransmitter called serotonin is linked with feelings of well-being and anxiety. Serotonin levels are regulated by another molecule called monoamine oxidase, or MAO. MAO level is just one of many factors that shape a human being, but extreme risk takers tend to have about a third less MAO than the average person. It's interesting to note that low MAO levels are also common among those prone to antisocial behavior, like crime and drug or alcohol addiction. Low MAO levels in a child like Charlie is no guarantee that he'll grow up to become a skydiver or base jumper. Low MAO levels are also common to entrepreneurs, inventors, artists, and performers. It's a matter of MAO level and personality. The margin for error in skydiving is almost non-existent. What looks easy here is really the result of hundreds of practice jumps. Control of the body in this condition isn't something that happens naturally. One awkward move at high speed can end up in a collision. Thus, maintaining clarity of mind during the overwhelming sensation of free fall is the first skill to master.
It's gonna take some time. Figure it out and get my feet off the ground. I touch the sky. Now I'm learning to fly.
These experts reach peaks of up to 200 miles per hour. The apparent weightlessness of the free fall is an illusion. The camera is falling at the same speed as the jumpers. The reality is that in 12 seconds, they have fallen half a mile. Ultimately, what makes the risk bearable for the jumpers is their faith in the physics of the parachute. Air rushing underneath the parachute creates low air pressure above it, creating a lift that breaks the jumper's fall. But it takes a careful design and the right material to make a parachute that works. It was this concept that Leonardo da Vinci conceived of long before the principles of aerodynamics were defined and put to practical use. Leonardo did predict the attraction the sky would have once mastered. But even he couldn't have dreamed how extreme risk takers and thrill seekers would someday turn it into their playground. Legend says a man jumped off a tall tree holding two umbrellas in 1783. But the first documented parachute jump was in 1797 in Paris. Parachutists first jumped from airplanes in 1912. Skydiving as we know it today, including a free fall before the parachute is pulled, didn't become a sport until the 1950s. This team of jumpers is playing skyball, using a tennis ball filled with lead. If the ball is fumbled and not recovered, it could create a hole in the ground almost 7 feet deep upon impact. Imagine tossing a ball back and forth between two trains speeding at 200 miles per hour, and you'll get an idea of the difficulty of the game. Here they're playing above the sea. Though they try to minimize danger, activities without danger hold little appeal for them. Danger is part of what makes them happy. They count their jumps by the 1,000, and it's always too few. Risk as a hobby is a modern phenomenon. The most fundamental thing about recreational risk is that seeking it is a uniquely human trait. No other animal puts its life in danger for fun. These are the mountains and fjords of Norway. For base jumpers, it is a mythical place. Base jumping is like skydiving, only from an earthbound starting point, like a bridge, skyscraper, or cliff. We are heading for Norway's Catamaran Wall, which provides a sheer vertical drop of 4,150 feet. That's 3 times the height of the Empire State Building. Our base jumping team is highly experienced, led by top pro Mario Richard. But the sport is considered so dangerous that only a few thousand people have ever tried it. The fact is that almost everyone in the base jumping community knows someone who lost their life in a jump. Unlike skydiving, base jumpers don't use a reserved parachute. Preparation is serious and thorough, but even the most experienced jumpers admit feeling fear before the jump. Adrenaline begins to